In the heart of the world's most untamed wildernesses, two titans reign supreme. One, a silent, shadowy hunter from the dense jungles of the Americas. The other, a powerful, majestic ruler of Africa's lush forests. Today, we're staging the ultimate wildlife showdown. The jaguar versus the gorilla. Who would emerge victorious in a hypothetical battle between these two incredible animals? Get ready, because we're about to dive deep into their strengths, strategies, and secrets to find out. Let's start with our contender from the Americas, the jaguar. Don't mistake this for a leopard. The jaguar is a different beast altogether. It's the largest cat in the Western Hemisphere and the third largest in the world, only behind tigers and lions. An adult male can weigh up to 250 pounds, sometimes even more. But it's not just about size. The jaguar is pure muscle, built for power and stealth. Its coat is a masterpiece of camouflage, covered in beautiful rosettes that help it blend seamlessly into the dappled light of the forest floor. This allows it to be an ambush predator of the highest order. It stalks its prey silently, getting incredibly close before launching a devastating attack. Unlike other big cats that often go for the throat, the jaguar has a unique and terrifying signature move. It possesses the strongest bite force of any feline, relative to its size. This allows it to crush skulls and pierce through the tough hides of animals like caimans and the shells of turtles. It's a bone-crushing machine. Jaguars are also incredibly versatile. They are excellent swimmers, often hunting in and around water. They are also skilled climbers, able to pursue prey up into the trees. This adaptability means they are comfortable in almost any terrain their jungle home throws at them. They're solitary hunters, relying on their own strength, cunning, and patience. In a one-on-one fight, the jaguar is a master of the surprise attack, aiming for a quick, decisive, and lethal finish. Now, let us travel across the Atlantic to the forests of Central Africa and meet our second contender, the gorilla. When you think of sheer, raw power in the animal kingdom, the gorilla is one of the first that comes to mind. We're talking about the largest primate on Earth. A fully grown male silverback can weigh over 400 pounds, standing up to 6 feet tall when on its hind legs. That's almost double the weight of an average jaguar. And it's not just weight, it's solid muscle. A silverback is estimated to be 6 to 9 times stronger than an adult human. Their massive arms are long and incredibly powerful, capable of tearing down banana trees to get to the fruit. Their chests are broad and barrel-like, and their presence alone is intimidating. That iconic chest beating isn't just for show. It's a display of dominance and a warning to any potential threat. But gorillas aren't just brute force. They are highly intelligent and social animals. They live in family groups or troops, led by a dominant silbug. His primary job is to protect his family. While generally peaceful herbivores, a silverback will not hesitate to defend his troop with ferocious aggression if threatened. When a gorilla charges, it's a terrifying sight. They can run on all fours at speeds up to 25 miles per hour, roaring and baring their long, sharp canine teeth. While their teeth aren't for hunting prey, they are formidable defensive weapons. So, the stage is set. In one corner we have the jaguar, a perfectly engineered killing machine built for ambush and precision. In the other, the gorilla, a powerhouse of raw strength and protective instinct. How would this fight go down? Let's imagine a neutral environment, a dense forest that offers advantages to both. The jaguar's first and best chance is its signature ambush. It would use the thick vegetation for cover, stalking the gorilla silently. The jaguar knows it cannot win a direct, strength-for-strength confrontation. Its strategy would be to get in close, unseen, and launch a surprise attack. Its target would be the back of the neck or the skull, aiming for that one-bite kill it's famous for. If the jaguar can land this attack perfectly before the gorilla even knows what's happening, the fight could be over in seconds. The jaguar's agility and speed would be its greatest assets here, allowing it to spring from the shadows and deliver a fatal blow. However, this is a very big if. A silverback gorilla is not an unsuspecting kid. Gorillas have excellent senses of hearing and smell. They are constantly aware of their surroundings, alert to any sign of danger. It's very likely the gorilla would detect the jaguar before the attack is launched. The moment the gorilla senses the threat, the entire dynamic of the fight changes dramatically. Once alerted, the gorilla would turn to face its attacker, and the jaguar's element of surprise is gone. Now, it's a face-to-face battle. And this is where the gorilla's massive advantages come into play. The silverback would stand its ground, let out a deafening roar, and beat its chest. This display is designed to intimidate, and it would likely work, even on a predator as bold as a jaguar. If the jaguar still chooses to attack, it would be met with overwhelming force. The gorilla's sheer size and weight advantage are immense. The jaguar would have to leap onto the gorilla, trying to get a grip with its claws and find a vulnerable spot for a bite. But the gorilla's long, powerful arms are its primary weapons. It could grab the jaguar, and with its incredible strength it could slam the cat against the ground or a tree with bone-shattering force. The gorilla's grip strength is phenomenal. If it gets a hold of the jaguar's limbs or body, it could potentially break bones or cause severe internal injuries. While the jaguar has claws and teeth, the gorilla's thick hide and dense muscle would offer significant protection. A bite to the arm or shoulder might be painful, but it wouldn't be instantly fatal. Meanwhile, every second the jaguar is in the gorilla's grasp, it is in mortal danger. The gorilla could also bite back. Its canines are long and sharp, and its jaw is powerful enough to deliver a devastating defensive wound. A bite from a gorilla could easily crush a jaguar's limb or cause a deep, disabling gash. So, let's weigh the outcomes. The jaguar's path to victory is narrow and relies almost entirely on a perfect, successful ambush. It needs to end the fight before it truly begins. If its initial strike isn't instantly fatal, the jaguar's chances of survival plummet. It's a high-risk, high-reward strategy. The gorilla's path to victory is much broader. It just needs to survive the initial ambush. Once the fight becomes a test of strength and endurance, the odds shift overwhelmingly in the gorilla's favor. Its size, power, and defensive capabilities are simply too much for the jaguar to handle in a prolonged struggle. The gorilla's intelligence also means it wouldn't just stand there. It would actively and brutally defend itself. Therefore, after analyzing their strengths and strategies, the verdict leans in favor of the gorilla. While the jaguar is an apex predator of the highest caliber, the sheer power and defensive might of a silverback gorilla make it the likely winner in a head-to-head confrontation. The jaguar's best bet is to not pick this fight in the first place. Nature is all about survival, and a smart predator knows when an opponent is too risky to engage. What an incredible matchup. Two amazing animals, each a king in its own right. What do you think? Who would you bet on in this epic battle? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this wildlife showdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. In the wild arenas of our planet, two titans reign supreme in their respective domains. In one corner we have the undisputed king of the African rainforest, the mighty silverback gorilla. In the other, the silent, elusive phantom of the Americas, the powerful jaguar. A hypothetical clash between these two apex predators has fueled debates among wildlife enthusiasts for decades. Who would truly emerge victorious in a one-on-one showdown? Today, we're diving deep into the science, the stats, and the strategies to unravel this epic wildlife. So, buckle up as we pit the raw power of the gorilla against the lethal precision of the jaguar. First, let's meet our contenders. The silverback gorilla is the largest primate on Earth, an icon of sheer strength and intelligence. An adult male can stand over 5.5 feet tall when upright and weigh up to 440 pounds, or 200 kilos. But it's not just their size that's intimidating, it's their power. A gorilla's bite force is estimated to be around 1,300 psi, stronger than that of a great white shark. Their arms are incredibly long and muscular, with a reach that can exceed 8 feet. This allows them to deliver devastating blows and gives them a significant grappling advantage. Gorillas are also highly intelligent, capable of using tools and complex social communication. In a fight, this intelligence could translate into tactical thinking, not just blind rage. Now, let's turn our attention to the jaguar, the third largest cat in the world, and the undisputed apex predator of the Americas. While smaller than a lion or tiger, don't let its size fool you. A large male jaguar can weigh up to 350 pounds, or nearly 160 kilograms, and is a compact bundle of muscle and ferocity. What truly sets the jaguar apart is its bite. It possesses the most powerful bite force relative to its size of any big cat, an incredibly 1,500 psi. Unlike other cats that often go for the throat, the jaguar has a unique killing method. It pierces the skull of its prey directly with its canines. This devastating technique is effective against heavily armored animals like caimans and turtles, showcasing its ability to bypass conventional defenses. Jaguars are also masters of stealth, using their spotted coats to blend seamlessly into the dense jungle. They are ambush predators, relying on surprise and a single, decisive strike. So, the stage is set. Let's imagine the scenario. A dense, neutral jungle environment. Let's say a hypothetical island where both species have been introduced. This terrain offers advantages to both. The thick vegetation provides ample cover for the jaguar's ambush tactics, while the trees and complex ground offer the gorilla opportunities for mobility and defensive positioning. The fight is unlikely to start in an open field. It would most likely begin with a surprise encounter. The jaguar's best, and perhaps only strategy, is a successful ambush. It would stalk the gorilla silently, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Its target would be precise and deadly: the back of the skull or the neck. If the jaguar can land its signature skull-crushing bite before the gorilla can react, the fight is over in an instant. This is the jaguar's one-shot, one-kill advantage. The element of surprise is everything. A pounce from a hidden position, clamping down with that immense jaw pressure, could neutralize the gorilla's strength before it can even be brought to bear. The jaguar's agility and lower center of gravity would allow it to launch a powerful attack from the ground or a low-hanging branch. However, what happens if the ambush fails or the gorilla senses the danger? This is where the fight dynamic shifts dramatically in the gorilla's favor. If the gorilla turns to face its attacker, the jaguar's primary weapon, the surprise skull bite, is largely neutralized. Now, it's a head-on confrontation. The gorilla, standing its ground, would likely let out a deafening roar and beat its chest, a terrifying display designed to intimidate any challenger. But this isn't just for show. It's a warning of the raw power about to be unleashed. In a direct confrontation, the gorilla has several key advantages. First, its sheer size and weight. It's significantly heavier, and it can use that mass to anchor itself or to throw the jaguar off balance. Second, its reach. The gorilla's long, powerful arms can keep the jaguar at a distance, preventing it from getting close enough to land a fatal bite on the head or neck. The gorilla could use its arms to bat the jaguar away, delivering bone-shattering blows. Think about it. A single swipe from a gorilla can break thick bamboo. Imagine what that could do to a jaguar's ribs or spine. Furthermore, the gorilla possesses incredible grappling strength. If it manages to get its hands on the jaguar, the situation becomes dire for the cat. A gorilla's grip is immensely powerful. It could pin the jaguar down, immobilizing its lethal jaws and claws. Once restrained, the gorilla could use its own powerful bite, or simply its brute strength, to inflict catastrophic damage. While the jaguar is incredibly strong, it's not built to wrestle with an animal of the gorilla's power and upper body strength. The gorilla's thick hide and dense muscle mass also provide a natural defense against the jaguar's claws, which are designed for gripping and slashing, but might struggle to inflict a decisive wound on such a large and robust animal. Let's consider their typical prey and fighting styles. The jaguar regularly takes down large, dangerous prey like caimans, anacondas, and tapirs. It's a seasoned killer, experienced in tackling powerful animals. It knows how to use its agility to dodge and weave, looking for an opening. However, none of its usual prey possesses the combination of primate intelligence, grappling ability, and sheer upper body strength of a gorilla. The gorilla, on the other hand, is primarily a herbivore. It doesn't hunt for a living. Its fights are typically with other gorillas over territory or mates, or in defense of its family against predators like leopards. Yes, leopards. In Africa, leopards are known to prey on gorillas, but they almost exclusively target females or young. A direct confrontation with a full-grown silverback is an extremely rare and risky endeavor that most leopards would avoid at all costs. A jaguar is larger and more powerful than a leopard, making it a more formidable foe. But the principle remains the same. A silverback is the ultimate defender, and its fighting style is built around overwhelming an opponent with brute force. So, who wins? If we run 10 simulations of this fight, the outcome would heavily depend on that initial engagement. In the scenarios where the Jaguar executes a perfect ambush and lands its sculpocine bite on an unaware gorilla, the Jaguar wins. I'd estimate this gives the Jaguar maybe a 3 out of 10 chance of victory. It's a high-risk, high-reward strategy that relies on flawless execution. However, in the other 7 scenarios, where the gorilla detects the Jaguar, or the initial ambush fails, the odds swing overwhelmingly in favor of the gorilla. Once the fight becomes a face-to-face brawl, the gorilla's advantages are simply too much for the Jaguar to overcome. The reach, the weight, the grappling, strength, and the sheer power of its blows would likely overwhelm the cat. The Jaguar might inflict some serious claw and bite wounds, but it would struggle to land a fight-ending blow before being disabled or killed by the enraged silverback. The gorilla's defensive posture, combined with its ability to use its powerful arms as both shields and weapons, makes it a fortress of muscle. Therefore, while the Jaguar is one of the most efficient and deadly predators on the planet, our verdict has to lean towards the silverback gorilla. In a head-and battle of titans, the raw explosive power and defensive stature of the gorilla would likely prove to be the deciding factor against the Jaguar's specialized, ambush-dependent lethality. It's a fascinating matchup, but in the end, you just don't want to get into a wrestling match with a silver. What do you think? Do you agree with our analysis? Or do you think the Jaguar's killer instinct would win the day? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We love reading your perspectives on these epic wildlife battles. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Imagine a dense, steaming jungle, a realm where nature's most formidable titans clash. In one corner we have the silverback gorilla, a sheer powerhouse of muscle and intelligence, the undisputed king of the forest floor, and in the other, emerging from the murky depths, the saltwater crocodile. An ancient predator, a perfect killing machine honed by millions of years of evil. What would happen if these two giants were two crosspaths? Who would emerge victorious in this ultimate battle of brawn versus bite? Today, we're diving deep into this epic hypothetical showdown. Gorilla versus crocodile. First, let's meet our contenders. The silverback gorilla is a truly magnificent creature. Standing up to 6 feet tall and weighing over 400 pounds, it's the largest primate on Earth. But it's not just about size. A gorilla's strength is legendary, estimated to be up to 10 times that of a human. Its arms, with a massive span of over 8 feet, can deliver blows with crushing force, and can rip apart bamboo stalks with ease. Their intelligence is another key weapon. Gorillas are known for their problem-solving skills, complex social structures, and their ability to use tools. They are generally peaceful herbivores, but when threatened, a silverback will not hesitate to defend its family with terrifying aggression. A charging gorilla is one of the most intimidating sights in the natural world. Now, let's turn our attention to the crocodile. We'll consider the saltwater crocodile, the largest living reptile. These behemoths can grow over 20 feet long and weigh more than a ton. They are masters of the ambush. Lying motionless in the water, they look like a floating log, patiently waiting for unsuspecting prey. Their primary weapon is their incredible bite force, the strongest in the animal kingdom, capable of snapping bones like twigs. Once those jaws clamp down, there is almost no escape. The infamous death roll is their finishing move, a powerful spinning motion in the water designed to dismember their prey. Covered in thick, armored skin, they are like living tanks, highly resistant to physical attacks. So, the stage is set. But where would this fight take place? The location is everything. This isn't a neutral arena. The environment heavily favors one combatant over the other. Let's imagine our first scenario. The battle happens on land, deep within the gorilla's jungle territory, but near a riverbank. The gorilla is in its element here. The terrain is familiar, filled with trees to climb and solid ground to maneuver on. The crocodile, on the other hand, is at a significant disadvantage. On land, crocodiles are clumsy and slow over long distances. They can manage short, surprising bursts of speed, but they lack the agility and stamina of the gorilla. Our gorilla, sensing a threat to its troop, would likely initiate the confrontation. It would start with a display of dominance, chest beating, loud roars, and maybe even throwing rocks or branches. The goal is to intimidate the intruder and drive it away. But this is a saltwater crocodile, a creature that doesn't intimidate easily. It holds its ground, hissing, its jaws agape in a clear warning. The gorilla, seeing its display is ineffective, decides to charge. It moves with surprising speed, aiming to use its immense upper body strength. It might try to grab the crocodile, perhaps trying to flip it over to expose its softer underbelly. This is a risky move. The gorilla has to get past that terrifying mouth. A single well-placed bite from the crocodile could be devastating, crushing a limb and ending the fight instantly. However, the gorilla's intelligence and agility are its greatest assets here. It's not just a brute. It can dodge, weave, and think. It might try to attack the crocodile from the side or from behind, avoiding the business end. A powerful punch or a slam from a gorilla could potentially daze the crocodile, or even break its jaw. If it lands just right, the gorilla could also use its environment, perhaps grabbing a large rock or a heavy log to use as a weapon, something a crocodile simply cannot do. On land, the odds are heavily stacked in the gorilla's favor. Its combination of speed, strength, intelligence, and agility would likely overwhelm the slower, land-bound crocodile. The gorilla could inflict serious damage while staying out of reach of those deadly jaws. Victory for the gorilla on solid ground. But what if the fight happens in the water? Let's change the scenario. Imagine the gorilla needs to cross a wide, deep river, the domain of the crocodile. Now, the tables are turned completely. The water is the crocodile's kingdom. Here, it is no longer clumsy. It is a fluid, silent, and incredibly fast predator. The gorilla enters the water cautiously. It can swim, but not with the grace or speed of an aquatic animal. It's vulnerable. The crocodile, submerged and almost invisible, senses the vibrations. This is the ambush it has perfected over millennia. It approaches from below, a dark shadow in the murky water. The attack is sudden and explosive. The crocodile lunges, its jaws closing on one of the gorilla's limbs with that bone-shattering force. The gorilla is immensely strong, but in the water, it has no leverage. It can't stand its ground. It can't use its powerful arms effectively. It's pulled under. This is where the death roll comes into play. The crocodile begins to spin violently. The gorilla, disoriented and drowning, has no defense against this tactic. Its strength is useless against the sheer physics of the roll. The fight would be over in a matter of moments. In the water, the crocodile is not just a contender. It's a near certain victor. The gorilla's intelligence and strength are nullified by the environment. So, who is the ultimate winner? It's not a simple answer. It's a classic battle of specialist versus specialist, and the outcome is almost entirely dependent on the battlefield. On the land, the gorilla's intelligence, mobility, and brute force give it a decisive edge. It can control the engagement, use its environment, and attack from angles the crocodile can't defend. In the water, the crocodile's mastery of its aquatic environment makes it an unstoppable force. Its ambush tactics, incredible bite force, and the death roll are a combination the land-dwelling gorilla simply cannot counter. It has a fascinating matchup that highlights how evolution shapes creatures to be perfect for their own specific niche. There is no single strongest animal. Strength is relative to the situation. The gorilla is the king of the jungle, and the crocodile is the emperor of the waterways. If they were to meet at the water's edge, it would be a true clash of titans, a 50-50 toss-up, where the first one to make a mistake, or the one who gets a slight environmental advantage, would be the victor. It's a battle of land versus water, muscle versus jaw, and intelligence versus instinct. And it's a fight we're glad to only witness in our imagination. Thanks for watching this epic showdown. Which animal battle would you like to see us analyze next? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the wild. See you next time.